We only eat this vegetable and fish.
Stop it.
Yeah.
We never.
That's weird.
Yes, never.
I started any,
Yeah.
that's why it's like,
Wow.
the medium well, like, and he's very healthy. That's why.
Yeah.
It's still. This is supposed to get medium well, there's 7. And
Oh,
my man,
Oh, do you want us to give you the?
That's like a chef.
Check it. Check your work and don't turn it in. I want you to have everything in preparation for final exam.
Ready.
I'm gonna have all my drinks ready.
Today.
You get your salt checked off.
The line. Oh, yeah.
Make sure you check your answers with the freshmen, the sophomores. We got no juniors. They were here yesterday, okay? Welcome back. So we didn't do any new topic. We just practiced on, we worked on the assignments, the 15-question assignment. We worked it on a board, the students worked it on a board. So yeah, I had time to show. Oh, anyway, good morning, pharmacy. My brain has to flip. Okay. Did you guys check your work? Okay, I want you to have that. Don't turn that in. Okay, you'll be needing that. Today, we're officially going to start with allegation and valuation. Okay. But before we do that, I want to give you a packet. Answer them, yeah, just get one. Because I'm going to skip numbers. All right. I want to check whether you understood the main topic that we've been talking about, which is percentage, the basis or the foundation of allegation. Check it out. This is a big practice problem. How many questions? 40 questions, like a final exam in preparation for your final exam. I took a really dark coffee today, but it doesn't seem like it's working. And I don't know why. Okay, so everybody has one? Okay. Before I move on, any questions on the percentage topic? No? Okay, good. Everybody has one? Okay, first question, first problem. This is to check whether you know percentage. How many milligrams of beryllium chloride are needed to prepare 3 liters of 1 to 30,000 solution? Checking whether you understood what I've been talking about when it comes to fractions, decimal, percentage, proportion. Okay. I want you to work on this problem. I know you have options there because it's a multiple choice question. When you're done, pencils up. So I know who's done. Okay. This is an application of what you've been learning the last 2 days. I just said whole numbers can be converted to fractions, right? Fractions can be converted to decimals. Whole numbers can be converted to decimals. They all can be converted to each other. Let's prove that by answering this question. How many milligrams of beryllium chloride are needed to prepare a 3 liter of 1:30,000 solution? It's easy to get this wrong if you did not listen to how I broke down percentage last time. Remember? Weight will always be grams, and volume will always be milliliters. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So even if this is just a ratio, there are invisible units in there, right? How many milligrams? So the question is, how many milligrams of beryllium chloride? Around all the way. 6 a.m. My coffee's working. Just a low energy today. But I got a lot of things done. So. Anyone has an idea what the answer is? Okay, I'll get answer. So 1 to 0.1 mg. What did you get, Jessica? What is it? 100 milligrams. What else? Anybody else? That's it. Okay. Raise your hand if your answer was 0.1 mg. Raise your hand if your answer is 100 mg. Hands up. Okay. The ones like this. Okay, you gotta be sure. Who got 100 mg? Hands up. Okay. This is your answer. And this is the correct answer. Why is that? What did I say? Because there's an invisible unit here, which is grams, an invisible unit here, which is an ml, correct? Yes. And this is proportion. So this can be converted to fraction, which we've been talking about. So this can be 1g, which is the right unit now for percentage, right? For weight. And then this is going to be 30,000 ml, correct? Yeah. So what's my proportion now? Right over here, right? However, it has to be apples to apples. And how do we do that? What do you do here? This should be 3,000 ml here at the bottom. So this is your xg. Okay. Now let's calculate. You got to cross multiply. This will be 3,000, correct? You get a calculator. 3,000 divided by 30,000. 3,000 divided by 30,000 equals, that is 0.1. But here's where you have a problem. This is in grams. This is a multiple choice question. So you got options here. All the options were in milligrams, right? You forgot one step.
To convert.
Correct. So we have to convert this to 1 gram. I'm doing dimensional analysis this time. Okay. What is this going to be? 1,000 mg. Remember I told you, I always write 1 gram is 1,000 mg. 1 mg is 1,000 micrograms. Did I do it right? Yeah. 1 kilogram. I'm missing one. There's something missing. 1,000 grams. I always put this on my test paper. Remember? That hurts. Okay. You follow? I just moved up my back.
Do you see why it's not 0.1? Okay, it has to be 100 mg. And this is how the PTCE is formatted. You see? You'll easily get it wrong if you're not paying attention. All the options are in milligrams. So even if I said that the unit for weight for percentage will always be grams, but your options are milligrams. So you gotta convert. That's a very, very good question. Very similar to how the PTCE is formatted question-wise. Okay, so this is a review for the PTCE. Today's a review for the PTCE for you guys. That's why I said by this time, seniors, if you started with that black book or little notebook I'm talking about, you probably have filled that out. Okay, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, intense and tricks. Okay, let's do another one. Number 2 is another good application. Any questions on this one? Okay. But on number 2, you got to know your quartz conversion. Okay. Think about your quartz conversion because we didn't focus much on the quartz. This may be thrown as a question. So think about it. And if I forget conversions, I picture ice cream. Why? Why do I picture ice cream or water bottles? Ice cream, that's my comfort food. So right away, by thinking about ice cream, it calms me down right away. It's the reason why I have problems right now, and I'm very much overweight right now. Okay, so number 2 question. I wanted this solved before I move on to allegation. Okay. Those are 2 good applications. How many grams? So the question is how many grams? Remember, it's hard to see red on video. I told myself I didn't remember that. How many grams of potassium permanganate are required to prepare 2 quarts of, again, 1 to 750 solution potassium permanganate. Same process, same way. Sorry, same process, same way. What do you think this is? What is potassium permanganate in grams? Is it weight over weight, weight over volume, or volume over volume? What is the solution? What do you think? It's going to be weight over volume. It created a solution, but you're being asked of grams, right? So you can tell that it's in powder form or solid form, dissolved in a liquid form to create a solution. Yeah, it's hard to picture for you guys because you didn't do other chemistries like physical chemistries and stuff like that. But focus on the math at this point since this is pharmacy math. I just wanted you to try to picture, what do you think this is? Potassium permanganate comes in solid dosage form, dissolved in a liquid medium. Okay, now quartz. You gotta know this conversion though. How many ml in quarts? Anybody figure that out? That is important to know because that's what you're going to make. What was that? You can use that. Okay, that's not the exact number. However, you can use that for easier calculation if you forgot other things. Let's try 1,000 ml. 1 quart, Jessica said, 1 quart is 1,000 ml. So 2 quarts would be 2,000 ml. Okay. 1 quart, 1 liter. That's why I said easier. If you forgot things like that, conversion, think about ice cream. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. So how do we set this up? 1 is to 750. Can you convert this to fraction? Yes. Can we use it in duration proportion setup? Yes. Right away, 1 over 750. So what unit do I put here? G. Good. 750 would be ml. There you go. What's another given? X grams, what's another given? Your 2000 ml. Okay. What's next? 2000 divided by 750 would be 2.6. You said 2.67 grams, right? Well, here, since it's a multiple choice question, you notice that all your options are in grams. So you don't have to convert. You don't have to have the next step. However, oh my God, there's no 2.67 answer. Your options are 0.05 grams, 0.13 grams, 2.56 grams, and 13 grams. Given that, which answer would you choose? The 2.56, since it's a multiple choice question, because it's the closest. Why is there a difference? Because it's not exactly 1,000 ml for 1 quart. Okay, what is it? What's another conversion factor for 1 quart? But you solved the problem. Okay, you solved it right. You just used like a whole number. Okay, so what is 1 quart? Check your book. Check your conversion factors.
Take a guess. Take a guess.
Take a guess, Ms. Chase.
No, you one here.
No show.
Cancel.
Saying interview got canceled. We scheduled it with Ms. J because I said, no, I'm not interviewing because it's 11:30. And the applicant requested for that time to be interviewed. It'll have to be changed. It's very important you see how we reacted right away. You show up. Always. If you can't show up, check. Has to be a real big reason why you're not going to show up. Okay?
That's
Most-
the tone.
Yes.
I'll always remember this is the dude that canceled.
And then we remember that student. It's so true. We remember. This is the one who didn't show up. Right? An interview with supposedly the program director.
And then my phone says, in 10 minutes, I have an interview.
See?
No, I don't.
Yeah. See, we have a calendar where we put the interview. I emailed Ms. J probably twice reminding her that you got an interview. I can't do the interview. And then I have it on my phone too, even if it's her doing the interview. My watch is buzzing saying there's an interview happening. Okay. So calling out usually for companies is 2 hours. Most companies, some 4, some a day before. Okay. So follow those rules. Okay. Seniors, even if you're just going to your externship sites, treat them as you're working, okay? Your rotations. That's your foot in the door. That's your audition, like auditioning for a play or whatever it is, a role, okay? I want you to know the real conversion here, exact number, okay? But I'll move on. Any questions? Maybe I'll give you a pop quiz tomorrow with just that question. It's close to 1,000. That's why the 1,000 worked. It's like for you to do the math in your head. That conversion of weight, kilograms to pounds. It's tougher to do with 2.2. But if you just want to get an idea, you just do 2. Use 2. Okay, moving on. You have your allegation packet, right? We gave you your allegation packet. So this topic, we'll start with dilution and allegation. Who watched the videos I have for references? Yeah? First thing, allegation, not allegation, not E. Allegation is a law terminology you're being accused of, right? So for math, it's letter I, ALLIGATION. Not alligator, but kind of spelled like that, very close, but allegation, okay? I should move this slower since I can't reach the top. Okay, so dilution and allegation, what is this topic about? Can you explain in your own words?
Concentration of a solution.
Concentration of a solution, yes, it involves that. What else? Concentration is the same as strength, so the strength of the solution, it involves that. Yeah. Very good. You're mixing two different strengths or concentration because the prescription or the order is not available in that particular concentration that is ordered. Can you follow? Okay. So that is allegation. Okay. So mixing two substances to create another concentration, two different concentrations or strengths to create another concentration, which usually is the middle of the two. Okay. Hey, there's something in my eye. Okay. What about dilution? What about dilution, huh? To mix a substance that's potent, correct? I want my coffee strong. Okay, so I always say this. What happens if you don't like your coffee strong, but it turned out strong? What do? You add water, okay? Most of the time the students will say, add more creamer, okay? So the better answer is add more water, okay? Add more water, that's dilution. Dilution is making a higher concentration or strength, say for example, 80%, into a lower concentration. You follow? Into a lower concentration. So anything lower than 80, say for example, 20%. Because the only thing available in the pharmacy or in the lab is 80%, but your order is 20%. And how do we do that? By adding water. Dilute. Dilution. Can you follow? Okay. So one time I used to teach at night. I walk in the faculty break room, and I'll check if there's coffee because I'm too lazy. I don't want to make my own coffee. Okay, so it's either us carrying Coke Zero or I go straight to grab my coffee. One time we have the new maintenance guy and I was talking to myself, like what I always do. I saw the coffee and I poured it and I drank it and it's like, oh, so diluted. Nobody was in there. I was just talking to myself. This is so diluted. And he said, oh, next time before 5 o'clock, I'll make fresh coffee, a strong one. Okay. So you should think about diluted as it's watered down. Okay. When you're cooking, you put too much salt in it. Okay. What do? You add more water, right? That's why when I teach compounding, sterile or non-sterile, I always say, when you're mixing stuff, if you're using powder, use a spatula, do the tap method on the side, because it's easier to add more than take them out. How are you going to take out a substance when it's more than what's needed? You can't, right? In cooking, it's an easy solution. You add more water, okay? Or in coffee, it's an easy solution. You add more water as well if it's too strong, okay? But not when mixing something, okay? I don't know if you guys did, because we usually use 70% IPA, isopropyl alcohol, okay? Because it was out of stock due to the pandemic for a long time. We started selling 91% isopropyl, right? Okay, so I said, I purchased isopropyl alcohol from South because it's cheaper than our other vendors. So I told Mr. Shai that we got no 70%. I couldn't get any 70%. And Mr. Shai said, well, that's a good activity for our students. Let them do dilution. Let's have them dilute the 91% to 70% isopropyl alcohol. I said, oh, you're right. Okay. At the beginning of the pandemic, it was funny because my friends and I were talking about, oh my God, this is out of stock. This is out of stock. What? I had a lot of packaging for offsite, and we were ready to mix stuff up, right? And she said, well, worst case scenario, if we were out of alcohol, this is the beginning, we're all going crazy, right? We're just gonna get alcohol, like the alcohol that we drink, and then we'll mix stuff from that, check how much alcohol it contains.
Okay, but anyway, I'm talking about these things because this percentages doesn't only apply in the pharmacy when you're mixing chemicals, mixing substances, mixing products. It applies to your daily life because it talks about strength, it talks about concentration. Why do we discuss these topics hand in hand or back to back? Okay, it's because it's mixing. Okay, dilution is not the same as alligation. Alligation involves 3 substances, 2 to mix, and then the third one is the one to make. Okay, dilution only involves 1 substance plus water. However, you can solve dilution problems using the alligation method for a tic-tac-toe. And I'll tell you how in a bit. Okay. When I'm faced with word problems, okay, I think whether to use alligation, the tic-tac-toe method, or just the dilution. Here's my shortcut. When not specified to use alligation, I use this formula, which is easier. This is a dilution formula. Take note, okay? C1V1 equals C2V2. I didn't make your packet. It was said differently. ISIV equals FSFV. I don't like to use that because IV is confusing with your IV products. As pharmacists, we learned C1V1 equals C2V2. It's just easier to remember. And what does this mean? C1 is your initial strength. Okay. Why C, Miss L? Because it's the same as concentration. C1, initial strength, right? Initial concentration is the same. V1 will be your initial volume. You follow? Take note, this is equals. Okay. And C2, you think would be your final strength or your final concentration. And your V2 would be your final volume. This is the formula I'll use. But take note, if the test allows you to use any, but sometimes some tests will say use the alligation method or the tic-tac-toe method. Without that specific requirement, if I know that the problem involves dilution, making a higher concentration into a lesser concentration by adding water, I use this right away. Can you follow? Okay. And how does that work? Let me find one problem. Let's put it in action. Here we go, number 32. I didn't go through everything. I just saw it right away. Okay, so don't think that the other problems doesn't involve that. Okay, I just saw this one real fast. Okay, you are asked to make you are asked to make 150 ml of a 3% sodium chloride solution. This is your to make, to prep, okay? Using, this is what you have in the pharmacy. So using 5% sodium chloride stock solution. When you say stock solution, if you want to picture this, these are your big bottles, amber bottles. And water. The dilution problem. How much of each do you use? Okay. how much of each do you use? I said, if it's not specified to use the allegation method or the tic-tac-toe method, I'd use this right away. So let's try to use it. Okay. C1V1 equals C2V2. Let's identify our numbers first. So what do you think is the initial concentration? 5%. Very good. It's going to be 5% because that's what you have. Okay. What do you think is the initial volume? There you go, okay? You said you don't have it. So since it's volume, I'm going to put X ml, right? Okay, equals. What is the final concentration that you want? 3%. There you go, 3%. And what is the final volume, supposedly? 150. You have a working equation. Yes, you do, okay? It's an ml, you got it set up, following the formula, right? Okay. What do I do now? This is going to be 5x, right? Let's just take out the percent so it's easier to see because it's confusing when you put 5% x, okay? Equals, what's 3 times 150? 450 ml. What do I do next? Divide both sides by 5. This is what? 90 ml. What do you think 90 ml? This is 90 ml of what? Water. Sure. Because this is your V1. This is actually your initial volume, right? Is this water right away? That is the NaCl stop solution. Okay, which means, what are you going to do? What do you have to do with a 90 ml to get the water? Remember my drawing? Sometimes the problem is how much water did you add? And that's exactly the problem, right? So what do you do to figure out just the water part? Oh, I put it wrong. Sorry, this is 150. Did you use 150? Because I put 4.
You said 3 times 150.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Okay, so what do I do with this 90 ml? Someone said it right. This 90 ml is actually the what? Because this is now your C1, V1, and this is your C2, V2. But we're talking about sodium chloride solution, entire solution. We're not talking about water. So what do you think you should do if this is 90 ml sodium chloride solution? And we talked about a concentrated solution. You add water, becomes a less concentrated solution. Very good. And how did you get that? Because there's a 150 ml total solution at the end, right? But you had to use 90 ml of the 5%. Can you follow? Okay. So the water part is only 60 ml. Now the question was identify, right? How much of each do you use? So this will be your total. Okay. This is 90 ml of what? NaCl stock solution. Can you follow? Now this is your 60 ml of water. How do you check? Let's reverse. 90 ml plus 60 gives you 150. Very good. Do you see why it's easier to use C1V1 equals C2V2? When it's dilution. Okay, when it's dilution, it's easier to use that. However, I'm moving on. Any questions before I move on? However, I wanted to prove to you that you can use allegation, okay, for the tic-tac-toe method to solve dilution problems. And how do we do that? Do you remember the numbers, huh? Okay. How do we do that? You said allegation is tic-tac-toe. Let's do blue. This is tic-tac-toe, right? You have to remember pure substance is 100%. Water will always be 0%. Okay? And you said there has to be 3 concentrations when it comes to allegation, correct? Tic-tac-toe. And it's usually higher concentration, lower concentration, and you're trying to figure out the middle concentration. So in this problem, setting up your tic-tac-toe should look like this. Higher concentration on top, 5%. What's the lower concentration? 0% should go here at the bottom. And then what you're trying to make should be at the middle. 3%. And then this is what we do next. Absolute values. 5 minus 3 is what? 3 minus 0 is 3. Okay. So what I do, I put 3 parts, follow, and I put 2 parts for a total of 5 parts. This is when I tweak it a little bit, student migration proportion. Okay. Done setting that up, right? Okay. So what can you do next? Ration proportion. And how do you do that ration proportion? How do you do that ration proportion? How do you do that ration proportion? How very 5 parts is your whole. You follow? Which means this is equivalent to, this is your whole, this will be equivalent to what's the total volume. I changed how to do it a bit because of migration proportion, so I'm going to use it this way. If 5 parts is 150 ml. See how I'm working it? I'll work this part first. Can you see now where I'm going? What do I put here? 3 parts is X ml. Can you proceed? 150 times 3 is divided by 5 is 9. So I'll put this here, 90. Can you see now? Erase this so it doesn't confuse you. Can you see how I've set it up? I tweaked it a bit. It tells you that you need 90 ml of the 5%. Did you see that? By just using ration proportion.
and knowing that this is your final volume. Okay, this is your 5 parts, which is the whole. Okay, now can you solve the problem with just this 2 to figure out how much water? Yes, by doing what Jessica did, which is 150 minus 90, right? So you can put 60 in here. But let's check using ratio and proportion. 5 parts is 150 ml. 2 parts is X ml. 2 times 150 divided by 5 would be 60 ml. 60 ml. Can you see? Your 5%, you need 90 ml of that. Your 0%, which is your water, you need 60 ml of that. If you combine the 2, you make a solution that's 150 ml, which is actually 3%. You follow? Don't confuse yourself. I've broken this down, tweaked it a bit so that it's easier for you to understand. Okay? But be very careful. Sometimes you're asked of the total solution. Sometimes you're just being asked of the diluent. Diluent is the substance that you added, usually the water, the dissolving medium. Can you follow? Did I just prove that you can use dilution, you can use alligation, the tic-tac-toe method to solve dilution problems? Yes, if you use 0% for water. Any questions? No questions? Okay, I'm moving on to number 33. Why number 33? Number 33 is a true allegation problem. And the easiest way to solve it is the tic-tac-toe method. Why? Why? Tell me. Why will I not use C1V1 equals C2V2 in there? Because you have 3 different strands. You have a higher strand, a lower strand, and you're being asked of the middle strand. You follow? Okay, let's do this. Number 33, let me read it. How much 10% dextrose solution and how much 60% dextrose solution should be mixed to make 2 liters of a 40% dextrose solution? This is what I do real fast. Okay. Higher concentration, 60%. You got 10%, right? Lower concentration, right? And then what should I make? Should say at the middle? 40%. Next step is subtract absolute values only. 60 minus 40 is? But I'll put the word parts. Subtract, crisscross. 40 minus 10 is? 30 parts. And then I add this too. 30 and 20 would be 50 parts, and that's your whole, your final, right? Yeah. And what would that equate to in terms of volume? You write 2000 ml right away, even if it says 2 liters. Okay? Why? It makes the problem solving easier. Can you solve it now? You see how easy it is? So 50 parts, if 50 parts is 2000 ml, you can do either one, whichever one you want. You want to do this part first, that's fine. 30 parts over excellent. I gave you a packet on allegation and valuation. I didn't write that packet. It was a different instructor who did that. Okay. If you like the way I did it, stick to it. Okay. If you understand it the way I did it, stick to it. Don't even read that one. If you're trying to find other ways, go read that one. Right? You see how I always give you different ways? Okay. So 50 parts is 2000 ml, 30 parts is to X ml. What do you do next? 30 times 2000 divided by 50 would be 1200 ml. Where do I put that? Right here on the 30 parts, you see? This is not how we were taught allegation back in pharmacy school. That's why we struggled. Okay. But I'm teaching you because I'm trying like through the years, I tried to get in the heads of the students, like, how are they going to figure this out faster and easier? How are they not going to fail? And they just understand the concept of let the numbers talk to them. You like ratio and proportion, so I set it up ratio and proportion. Okay, and if you do this, tic-tac-toe ends here. For me, I continue like this. Why? It tells me that it's from 60%, and it's going to be 30 parts, and it's going to be this much. Okay, answer here again is 1,200 milliliters of the 60%. Can you see now? Okay. Now you can solve this part easily without doing the calculation by doing 2,000 minus 1,200. You would put 800 ml. That's of the 10%. You follow? And this one you can just bring it down. This is my way. Okay. So that you know. You see how I like identifying and labeling stuff. Even cords, cables, I label them. My pantry, I label them. So here, okay, but even if you label it, if you live with other people, unless those people have OCDs too. Okay. Anyway, that's the fun part. I label my numbers all the time. I label word problems all the time. That's how I get the answers correct each time. Okay, but it's not all over the place. Well, you didn't figure that out right away. Yeah, you can still use ratio and proportion. And how do you do that? Go back. Oh, it really hurts. Your teacher needs to do this figure. 50 parts is to 2,000 ml equals. There you go. You use 20 parts here. You want to verify that your answer is correct. You got XML. This gives you 4,000 divided by 50 would be. You just verify that your answer is correct. Okay. Let's try to visualize this. I always say that the numbers talk to you. No, I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not trying to make you schizophrenic. It is really true. The numbers talk. Like equals mean when it's a word problem and you hear the word is and you're setting up a formula, that means equals. When you hear the word off, that means multiply. Okay. I always tell you, pharmacists, chemists, mathematicians, they don't memorize formulas. We create formulas. We work backwards. Okay. But here's what I wanted you to do. Okay. That's why I said I'm going to pause right here. Okay. And I want the numbers to talk to you, but I want you to visualize. Okay. Since we don't have a physical chemistry class, which you will have if you're in pharmacy school, you have to picture that you have a reagent bottle or a solution, a stock solution, that's labeled 60%. Okay. And you have to picture another stock bottle that's labeled 10%. But the order came in as 40%. You're not going to tell them, like, I cannot do this. We cannot fill it. It's not available. What did you go to school for? What did you learn this for? Okay. This happens in compounding pharmacies. If you work in manufacturing, like I did, you're going to do this stuff. Okay. So what do you do? 60% bottle. We don't have big bottles. I wish we had jugs, but picture it. 60% bottle, 10% bottle. I need to mix it in a third container, right? Okay. How much of this 60 do I need in milliliters? How much of this 10 do I need in milliliters to make 40%? That's the problem. 40% total 2,000. That's how you picture it. Another application. When you're making baby formula, which is another problem on your packet. Okay? And I want you to solve that. Okay. Sometimes I remember Ellie, it's easier to solve it in your head because she's the type who pictures it and does the math in her head, and then she's going to be forced to write it down. That's okay too. Especially when we're talking about baby formula, coffee, it's easy to picture that, right? But for things like chemicals that you haven't seen or touched, it is hard. So I'm trying to teach you a way to do that. Doesn't matter what the chemical is. For this one, I think it's dextrose, right? It doesn't matter what that is,
Okay, whatever. I used beryllium chloride a while ago. I used potassium permanganate a while ago. I think you have no idea unless you did chemistry, you used that in your chemistry classes or advanced chemistry classes, right? So what you can do to solve the problem is to just, I say, close your eyes. Picture one bottle with a label that's 60, another bottle with a label that's 10. And then you yourself picturing another bottle that you're holding that says 40. You see now? And the problem is actually how much of the 60 do I need? How much of the 10 do I need? So I can give this 40%, 2,000 ml to the prescriber or the patient or the customer or whoever company ordered that from you. Follow? Allegation is not difficult if you know how to picture this thing, if you follow the step by step. Okay. Dilution versus allegation. If you see dilution, no requirement to do allegation method. Use the C1 V1 equals C2 V2. Easier, right? You just plug in the numbers. You have the formula. If it's 3 concentrations, you saw right away. Use the tic-tac-toe method right away. Personally, I will not use the tic-tac-toe method for dilution because it's just water. I'll use the C1 V1 equals C2 V2. I'll only use it if it says on the test. Use the allegation method. Remember these tips. Okay. There's probably a good number of allegation questions on the PTCE. 5 on the average. Okay. Test whether you know the topic. Any questions? Ashley.
I just said, I don't know where to go.
Okay. This is why we have tutoring. Okay. And usually the tutoring is week 3. It happens on week 3 because that's where you get the new topic. Okay. It's just Wednesday. Do you realize that? We're actually done. It's just Wednesday. What's going to happen Thursday, Friday, Mondays? You're going to review and go over this. You're going to go to the board's office. We're going to do more worksheets. Okay. But we're also going to have tutoring. And here's the problem. Okay. The problem when you see this and you didn't listen to what I said, to watch the videos, especially if you're a freshman, even if you just listen to it and watch it once, okay, I didn't get it. When you see I do this on the board, you're not overwhelmed already. You know why? You got overwhelmed watching the video initially. And that's how you cope. Why? This freaking teacher can even curse at me because you're watching by yourself, right? I don't understand her. But you have an idea. You have an idea of what I talked about. I talked about concentration. Now you're formulating questions in your head. So when you come to class, you have specific questions to ask me. And it's not the first time you're getting rushed with emotions because you're seeing all these numbers. This class, you're going to see a lot of numbers. I wish I had 4 big boards so I don't have to keep erasing. And you just have it there. Okay? That's how you prepare. Okay? That's how you prepare. Those videos from years ago weren't there just for you to, just for it to be pretty. I'm not required to put that in there. Do you know that? But I have it there especially for the new students. Right? Because it helps. Right? And please do not tell me you don't have time to study outside of school. Please. You signed up. We did an interview. We shook hands. I said, you can't just study here. There's no way. You have to study outside hours as well. You have to devote time to study. Okay? You don't go to war without preparing for it. Okay? I'm not the enemy. Okay? But I think every day there's a war inside of us, in our heads. Sometimes that's tough. Okay? And how do you calm that? By preparing. Okay? There's going to be too much
every day. So what do? You prepare. So you overwhelmed yourself already at home, right? When you come here, just a little bit overwhelmed. Not like, oh my God, because this is not, I didn't ambush you with this one. You knew what's going to happen every single day, right? I tell you, week 1 is on Blackboard, week 2 is on Blackboard, week 3 is on Blackboard. All lessons are on Blackboard. Before I open it by the week. Now I open it, just open it. Why? Because some seniors, they want to go advanced. What's a new topic? Because they've been doing conversions for 3 sequences, and then they've been doing day supply quantity to be dispensed. So they wanted to know the new topic. That's why I decided to open everything. Okay? For the freshmen, listen to me. When I say watch, read, do this. Every time you have to prepare. Okay? You're lucky. You live in a time and age where there's videos. It's not just textbooks you're reading. You realize how difficult it is to study in the past without the technology that we now enjoy. Yeah, we got to go to the library, fight for textbooks. If you can't afford to buy your own textbook, go to a university. How many students are there? 300 students for pharmacy class. You can't afford to buy a textbook, then you got to go to the library. You got to carry those books all the time. You never show up to class without reading the chapters assigned. And I remember I was telling my son, I'm not embarrassing you. Come to think of it. Okay? You are embarrassing yourself because you didn't prepare. From that point, it was never a day that he didn't prepare. This have to. You can't just like show up all the time without being prepared. It's what I notice is the problem. You gotta have study time. You can only do so much for you. There is tutoring after class. What did I say on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Okay. And if you need tutoring, because I don't want to slow down the others. Fast-paced program. We didn't lie to you. Okay, you were warned about that. From the beginning, I warned you about allegation 2. Why? Based on my 13-year experience teaching, students always say, this is the most difficult math. But some will say, no, it's not really difficult.
How you explain it?
I don't know. I broke it down so that it's easy to find things. Okay? You have to. You know what's the advantage of the videos? You can pause me, rewind me, fast forward me. And you know what's good about this videos? You can carry it with me. You can carry me with you anywhere, anytime. Anywhere, anytime. Even while you're traveling, somebody's driving. Now we got more videos. Yeah, broken down even more because I don't think I've broken it down this much. They try to adapt and adjust based on. Okay, I don't want to forget. You have to do this tomorrow. So that we got something to do tomorrow. And you are starting to, gonna start to go to the board again. I mean, not start to, the others started, but the seniors didn't have the chance to do this one's on the board. 40 questions. This prepares you for the final exam. They're not all allegation and dilution, if you notice, but they're all word problems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. One thing I have learned, students get overwhelmed right away when they see word problems. It's true. Okay? We all speak English. We know there is a problem, comprehension. 90% of the time, tests are a test of your comprehension. So if you didn't understand the first time, read it over and over and over until you get it. Then circle the numbers that you need, cross out the ones that you don't. And what did I do? Magic, label them. Yeah?
Label all the time. There are invisible units, invisible numbers. Put them in. Okay? Whole thing is homework. Do not turn it in, but it has to be ready by 11 tomorrow. We'll go over that. Okay? Any questions? Right. I want the freshmen to stay. Crispin, you're okay? Crispin, are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I want freshmen to stay after class, okay? And anyone who needs help. Okay? I have, what's on my calendar? Go ahead, guys. I don't even know what's next. Oh, that's a no-show, right? My interview is a no-show. So, yes, I got time today. So freshman day. What's today? The 19th? Or 20th? Oh, don't do stupid things. It's 4:20.